Hello, and welcome to the Green Dragons Gaming Club. This is Brian. If you've tuned in to the Green Dragons Gaming Club battle reports in the past, you've heard some expert analysis from Ryan, Pretty Boy, and also Mark. And I would ask that if you stick around for this video, that you lower your expectation a few pegs, as I do enjoy the game very much, but I am not on that tactical level. So anyway, this is a battle that took place at my house outside, which was really cool. It was a very nice day. Mark was in town, and I was happy to host him for a game of the Ninth Age. If you're not familiar with the Ninth Age, please go check out the website. And without further ado, this is 4,500 points, frontline clash, and secure target. Brand new Kingdom of Aquitaine. In fact, I believe today the Kingdom of Aquitaine book got a little update, and Mark has been working on the book with the team, and they've done a great job. And so you can see here his list. I really don't know what all of this does. Of course, Mark explained some of it during the game. I'm not going to read through all of this, but if you'd like to take a look, go ahead and pause the video. Here's the list that I brought, bringing out the lizards. I know they're going through a change now as well, and I expect their new book to be out before too long here. So if you'd like to take a look at my list, go ahead and pause and you can check that out. Alright, so here we have the low quality cell phone pics. You're welcome. Alright, so to start off this tactical analysis, you can see our frontline clash deployment. The lizards from left to right. You see some skinks down in the lower left. Those are poison javelin skinks. You see a Thyroscutus with a engine of the snakes. You see a brick of 25 Saurus warriors with spears, the crocodile, and the rending banner. And in there we have a adept of druidism, a skink shaman. Then we have, you can't see because of the wings of the pterodon riders, but there is a small weapon beast, spearback. Of course, the pterodon riders. We have a brick of 20 temple guard with rending banner. With the toad, the quaddle has evocation, and his power is symbiosis. We have a Taurosaur with a great bow, 15 more poison javelin skinks, a Carnosaur with Warlord. The Warlord has the Basalt Infusion, supernatural dexterity on his lance, and he's got a 2-up rerollable armor save, and then a Stygiasaur. Mark left to right. I don't know all the new names of the KOE units. I apologize, but we have the Fey Knight. We have behind the Fey Knight a unit of Knights of the Realm, or Feudal Knights I believe they're called. 2 Scorpions in the Woods. We've got 5 Naiads. We've got a unit of 15 crossbows. We've got a Duke on Hippogriff with all the things. There is a unit of questing knights on that hill next to the hippo. They have a damsel on druidism, and also the rending banner. And then to the right of the tower, another unit of feudal knights with the BSB and a unit of fast cav. Alright, so Mark goes first. and you can see that he is lining up a possible charge on that Thyriscutus about 18 inches away. You can see I've deployed back, not wanting to get charged right away by KOE. That terrain piece you see to the left is impassable. Over on the right side of the board, we have a pond that I've deployed behind. The pond wasn't very large, and so I just put a template underneath the pond to make the pond larger. Alright, so we have an early charge. It was an 11-inch re-rollable charge into my Temple Guard. Probably should not have given him this 11-inch charge. He makes it in, and you can see my counter charge is not set up. I'm just not ready for this. I should have had the Torosaur ready, but alas, he is not, and we'll see what happens in that combat. Here you can see the Fey Knight was brought up to the left of the Thyriscutus, and he is looking at my flank. Of course, I'm not too thrilled to have that model in the flank, so I have to deal with him. His two Scorpions are taking shots at my Thyriscutus. In turn 1, he does 4 wounds, so pretty brutal. And that model only has 5 wounds, so he's hanging by a moment. On the right, he's playing cagey with his knights. Obviously doesn't want to get charged by a Warlord and Stygiasaur, and I'm content for the moment to stay back. So in combat, we have a few spells that go off to buff the unit of questing knights: Know Thine Enemy and Stone Skin. And he is able to take off quite a few models, as you can see, and I retaliate with virtually nothing due to the Stone Skin and just not being able to hit him on 4s very often. You see now I have moved my Torosaur for the possible countercharge if I'm still alive. Also inviting the Duke to come in if you would like to charge the Torosaur. My Skinks have moved up into the water on the right hand side. Okay, so on the right, I make a foolish move. I move up both my Stygiasaur and my Carnosaur pretty much into his face on the right hand side, and I want to use the Toxic Breath weapon, which I do, and I cause 0 wounds. With his Feudal Knights, he goes ahead and charges the Stygiasaur. I flee. I'm 20 inches away from his Fast Cav, which is just enough for his Fast Cav to be able to push me off the board. Rookie mistake. Just some bad decision making there on my part, but the Stygiasaur is no more. And then I hold the charge from his Feudal Knights into my Carnosaur, and he also brings in his unit of Fast Cav. They have a cheeky new rule that if Fast Cav is involved with a combat with the Feudal Knights, they offer a +2 res, +2 bonus to combat resolution. So that was clutch for Mark. You can see here that I am able to kill the BSB, but alas, with combat res, my Warlord runs away. You can see that here, and he isn't able to catch me with the Feudal Knights, but he is able to push me off the board with his Fast Cav. So I was able to regrow quite a good number of units in the middle with my Temple Guard. I regrew, I think, 7 or 8. I was able to hold them up another turn, but the relentless pressure from the questing knights plus the added Duke into that combat was just too much for the Purple Toad and his minions, and they broke and ran off the table. They were pursued, and their unit actually left the table to be back next turn. I did move the Torosaur up as a gigantic model to block the line of sight from his Hippoduke, not wanting him to charge into my units on the right, or what's left of them. And moving on into this next picture, kind of out of desperation, I'm just, I think this is turn 4. I'm running up to contest that objective. You can see that my Wizard Adept is no more because I 5-diced the Summer Growth spell and blew up my Adept trying to help out with the Temple Guard combat. Over on the far left, I am able to heal up my Thyriscutus over a few turns, and his Scorpions missed their mark on for the remainder of the game for the rest of their shots. So I'm only on 1 wound. The Fey Knight is on 1 wound remaining after shots from both the Thyriscutus javelins and my evocation Touch the Reaper spell. So he doesn't want anything to do with combat or being near my army, so he runs away. Here's a picture of my Warlord on Carnosaur fleeing the table like the coward he is. So the Hippoduke takes the charge into the Torosaur. Only with 5 attacks from the top. I'm hopeful that I will survive a turn. You can see that his Feudal Knights, or his Quested Knights rather, have come back onto the table an inch away from the dinosaur's butt. Here's a picture of the Fey Knight running away, not wanting anything to do with Thyriscutus. Running away from the Thyriscutus, but into the action. You can see him there on the right. He is using his breath weapon on my Pterodons and only ends up killing 1. It's a picture of him using his breath weapon on my Pterodons. And here's the middle of the board. This is when it was getting dark. We decided to just call the game. It was clearly going to be a KOE victory, as I had only killed a few knights and his BSB up to this point. Going into turn 5, probably would have gotten some points from for his Fey Knight and a few other points. Maybe have been able to contest an objective, but really at the end of the day it was a train wreck. You can see here the KOE doing what KOE does best, putting lots of pressure with their knights, getting those long charges and causing havoc. Of course, my mistakes were many, but should have had my counter charges ready to go from both the Torosaur and the Saurian warriors. Didn't take into account that the reform after the charge into the Temple Guard, would have put me out of charge arc, and so that was a mistake that I had to. And committing both the Stygiasaur and the Carnosaur to the right hand flank, knowing that that combat res would probably be the end of me, and it was. But still a great game. My first game in a few months. Awesome to be on the tabletop, and I hope you guys get out there and play some games. and I will hopefully see you later. This is my first battle report in about 4 years, but maybe I'll have another one out before too long. Have a great night.